yet.
We tire. The red biome blooms. The creeping dark.
I'm unable.
Within our grasp. A fight. We that fail.
Will never leave this place. To me, Draven.
Feel the shock!
No whistle. Not this time. Face your death. The guillotine drops. Welcome, honored guest.
Alright guys, Nox here. Just want to show you a couple of the changes. Quite a bit of progress. Level 91 and a half. You'll notice that we have way more energy shield now, and go up to about 5,500. So in total, about 7,000 life. A lot more attack speed. Movement speed is much faster, so I can actually get around. Quite a few changes. I think we're still using the same weapon that we had before. I recently switched to the Howa gloves that I dropped. I got a pair of boots that are pretty good. Give me quite a bit more energy shield and a lot more movement speed. I still have these for bossing, the power treads. You can definitely still use them. The +1 power charge and the extra crit damage is nice. I just kind of got tired of moving so slow. Also changed the amulet to precision salvo, so we get a bit more attack speed, projectile speed, and accuracy. I did switch to the helm that I was referring to. I got a max crit roll with a +1 power charge. Basically just gives me a lot longer time window for Gathering Storm, so I can keep my perfection stats up much easier. Still got the same belt. I got this insane chest piece for 1 divine as soon as it was posted. It didn't actually have the thorns, it was life. I did whittle it to try and get the hybrid Asian energy shield mod. There's one more that I can add to it, which would put me, if I got a really nice roll, it would put me an extra 30 spirit to work with. Same rings, really kind of need to upgrade those at some point. I do have the weapon swap for meditation, which just makes it charge insanely fast. I get almost 2,000 per second, and when I'm on this one it's only 586. Aside from that, we did cap the res, aside from chaos. Quite a bit of elemental ailment threshold, which I think it's a little bit more when I swap. 46.5% movement speed. I'm working on getting back up to 200 dex because that'll give me a little bit more attack speed off of the gloves. Aside from that, the chest put us at 201 spirit, which is just enough for what we're using. I did get rid of the armor, so we're just strictly evasion and energy shield now. And I'll show you the passive tree and some of the changes. But real quick, when we do fight a boss, oh, how did that go to 5? Cool. When we do fight a boss, I swap in Primal Armament and Perpetual Charge into Falling Thunder because I have made some changes here. Salvo, we can kind of get rid of this for bosses as well, even Ricochet. But this was one of the changes that I made, and it's insanely strong. I got a mana flask with 122 charges. So what Ambrosia does is use 20% of those, which ends up being about 25, and that gives me, I gain 3% of damage per charge consumed, which equals about 75% of gain damage, which seems much better than increased, I believe. And then I throw a mana bounty, so basically can get a lot more charges back. Unfortunately, you can't get charges on kill and increased charges. I tried, they're both suffixes, so it didn't work. As for Gathering Storm, still got Perfection, still got Window of Opportunity, threw Martial Tempo on there because I still like the faster speed of it. Innervate and Ambush. We do have 100% crit on the Falling Thunder. You'll notice the critical damage dropped quite a bit because of the boots. But if we switch for a boss, because we don't really need to move fast, it doesn't show it, but it gives quite a bit more per power charge. I also volled this and got insanely lucky. Plus 17 to the evasion energy shield, which doesn't really matter. But I got an extra 2% crit damage per power charge and an extra 4 intelligence here. I was trying to hit the movement speed, but this was great, so I just took it. Let's see. As for Gathering Storm, still 100% crit whenever they're at full life, which is, I use it to initiate anyways, and to get the perfection stacks. And you'll notice I did get these both to 5, because I actually had some money for perfects. I do want to corrupt those at some point whenever I can afford to risk it. I did corrupt this. I got it to 4 and then corrupted it and managed to get the extra socket. So we still got Profane Ritual, obviously, Impetus, and this is some new tech that I did. Overabundance gives us half the skill effect duration, which cuts down Profane Ritual from 2 seconds to 1. And then we got an extra 30 less and 25 less here. So in total, our ritual is almost a quarter of what it normally would be. So the charges just come in insanely fast, which helps because we have a lot faster attack speed and can afford to use them. Aside from that, we threw on Herald of Thunder, Long Shot, Reach, Deadly Herald, Elemental Focus, just to kind of give us as much, DPS as we can. And then we have the original Wind Dancer setup and Ghost Dance. Ghost Dance we probably don't really need because by the time we are actually able to recover Energy Shield because we're overcapped, we probably don't have any Shrouds left, but they come up fairly quickly, so I just kept it on there. Yeah, aside from that, there have been some drastic changes to the passive tree. So, well, first thing, we did get rid of the armor here, and obviously took Meditate. I noticed that I was keeping up the charges pretty easily, so I just switched back to IMD Thunder and still sunder my enemies. You also notice that we got rid of some of the power charges. So this one, it was kind of nice. A little bit of DPS. We could probably throw that back in there if we wanted to. I just really wanted some movement speed because I got tired of running around like a snail. This one, though, we did have to get rid of. It just did not work with Meditate because what would happen is I would get an energy charge, or I would get a power charge. It would give me, 40% more energy shield. And then after the recently went away, so after 4 seconds, it would actually drop my energy shield down. And so it just kept happening back and forth. And it eventually would just get me back to the base amount of shield. So the Meditate wasn't really behaving well with that. Went with some weapon swap passives when we switched. Basically just a lot of energy shield recharge rate. And since we were already over here, just took some extra max energy shield here and here. Got some crit here. Still got the crit here on the weapon swap. We are at 0 and 0, so those are capped out. Due to some other changes that I made, we were actually able to get rid of this entire area here, so we don't really need this extra crit chance. And in doing that, we didn't really need this extra crit damage either. If we get some better jewels, we could probably throw this back in there just for a decent crit damage buff. Aside from that, we have the movement speed here, some attack speed here, extra energy shield, attack speed. But here's the biggest change. So for one, we did get rid of this because we didn't need the extra 6% from the notables. And it was just 2 extra points I was able to get rid of because we got some crit down here. Gives us a pretty good amount of crit damage bonus. And yeah, so we came all the way down here so that we could get more movement speed, more attack speed, extra jewel slot. Replace the jewel slot from way up here with the one down here. This was the Anoint, and basically just worked my way all the way over here for another 6% movement speed. Nothing crazy. Later on we could probably get rid of this. I just was really tired of walking so slow. So you'll notice in some of the clips I'm just moving much faster, attacking much faster. Insanely more tanky compared to what I was. I was getting one shot constantly, and now it's very rare that anything really kills me. That's how I was able to get to 91.5, and just the last couple of days, honestly, been working, so I didn't really get to test all this out too much, but yeah, overall it's been working out pretty well. Been using some super juiced up maps, T16s. I did a T3 Zesht, killed him. I have a clip of that.
Go on.
quite a bit of progress on the Atlas. Only have 8 more points here to go, and I need to try a T4 Zesh. I haven't tried that yet. Aside from that, I spec'd into Esmeri Wisp because I saw something that was worth an insane amount. I'll probably get rid of this unless they end up patching it and fixing it to the drops, because it's super rare. Aside from that, I don't really care too much about the Atlas tree. I just got a lot of pack size and stuff to keep up my charges a lot easier. But yeah, overall, much better build, I believe. I do want to eventually, work on the DPS again. I was mainly, sacrificing some to go with the defenses, and it's been working out pretty well. If I'm able to get, all the way to 100, I'll obviously have a lot more points to throw around into probably the power charges here. Maybe some more damage overall. I did get rid of all the lightning damage here, which would be nice to have back. Yeah. So aside from that, maybe Falcon technique, but honestly, I attack so fast that I don't really need it. I'm sure if you watched the recent videos, you saw the attack time for my Falling Thunder was over a second. I've gotten it down to 0.65, so it's just much faster, much easier to pop off whenever I'm, surrounded by enemies. Yeah, aside from that, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions or, critique or ideas, definitely down to check out everything. I do read all the comments, and I have tried to implement a lot of stuff, at least for testing. Some of it I kept, some of it I didn't. But yeah, just let me know if you have any questions, and like and subscribe if you want to. Thanks.